Hey guys, today I'm going to cover the best CS2 knife for every single budget, starting with the cheapest to the most expensive ones in the game, and all of today's prices will be from buff.163, so if you're buying from more convenient marketplaces like Skinport, or trading for them on a site like SkinsMonkey, even with the 35% deposit bonus and free $5 on your first trade, which I'll talk about in a little bit, expect prices to be a bit higher. But starting with our cheapest knives at the $90 to $300 price range. These are the best low-end knives you could get in the game. At $96, the Shadow Daggers freehand minimal wear. They're an absolute steal, they have really nice colors, good condition, and great for what they are. But if you don't like these, the Paracord Boreal Forest in minimal wear is also $96. A different animation, but a solid cheap knife. At $107, the Survival Knife Night Stripe minimal wear has no wear on it, a nice animation, and a decent skin for its price. At $117, the Ursus Rust Coat might be a garbage skin, but it's a very nice knife and a clean animation, and it's definitely worth its cheap price. At $138, the Shadow Daggers Tiger Tooth are undeniably the best skin. It's really surprising that they're still even this cheap. And at $154, the Huntsman Freehand Minimal Wear has absolutely no wear on it, a good animation, and it's a nice standout skin as well. At $161, the Navaja Marble Fade definitely shouldn't be slept on, $160 for a god tier skin. And if you don't rock with the Navaja knife, the Shadow Daggers Marble Fade are that same $160 as well, not too bad. At $188, the Gut Knife Marble Fade is an absolute no-brainer. Marble Fade skins look great on the Gut Knife, and it's a very unique blend of colors. At $207, we'll get our first classic knife, the Blue Steel in Field Tested. It's a nice change up from the rest of the knives we've covered, and still in that low budget range. At $220, despite being well worn, the Skeleton Boreal Forest is practically flawless. It's a god tier knife and just $220 as well. It's a pretty good price. And at $226, the Bowie Tiger Tooth is a really nice option to scoop up as well, really clean skin. Moving on, the $244 Shadow Daggers Fade are getting close to our best low tier knives. They're a great pattern in CS2, very underrated knife. And at $270, the Gut Knife Gamma Doppler in Phase 3 is a knife that you absolutely need to have. It's one of my personal favorite budget knives, and the Gamma Doppler finish is arguably the best skin in CS2. But for one final low tier knife, the Stiletto Ultraviolet in minimal wear at $294 has a crisp animation and a very solid clean skin as well. But moving on to our mid tier knives between $300 and $1,000, you'll be able to start getting nice knives with good animations and clean skins, so let's get started with that. The Ursus Knife Tiger Tooth at exactly $300 is a solid, perfect mid-tier pickup just at the $300 price range. It's pretty solid. Our first Nomad knife will be the StatTrak Field Tested Blue Steel at $317, because for some reason StatTrak is way cheaper than non-StatTrak for some reason, so you get a sick knife with a bonus. The Bayonet Brightwater in Factory New at $334 is the first super clean bayonet skin you could finally get. And at $351, the Falchion Knife Fade is definitely one worth covering. And I know some people hate this knife, but it is surprisingly clean. The animation isn't as bad as people make it out to be. At $365, the Flip Knife Tiger Tooth is probably the best option. Past this price, you'll finally start getting good skins on good knives. This is sort of the beginning of it. This video is sponsored by SkinsMonkey. If you've been looking to trade out your old boring skins for new ones, SkinsMonkey is the place. By clicking the link in the description, you'll get a 35% deposit bonus when depositing with cash and crypto, and up to a free $5 bonus on your first trade. So be sure to click that link. SkinsMonkey also has the freebies tab where they run 24/7 giveaways that are completely free to join with crazy skins. And if you're looking to actually get your hands on some good skins, SkinsMonkey is the quickest way to do it. So be sure to get that free $5 and 35% deposit bonus now, trading your CSGO skins with that link at the top of the description. At $383, the field tested Talon Damascus doesn't really have any wear, and it's our first Talon knife of the video as well. At $406, the Phase 1 Falchion Gamma Doppler should not be slept on, and unlike the Falchion Fade, the Gamma Doppler covers the whole knife, so it looks really good when you inspect it. At $435, the Huntsman Fade is a top dog knife. Nice flex for a price that relatively for a CS knife isn't too crazy. At $456, we'll finally have our first M9 bayonet in the Forest DD pad. There's no crazy skins yet, but you can't complain with a minimal wear Forest DD pad. And at $482, our last knife under $500 is the Nomad Slaughter in minimal wear. There's some very sick shaders on this knife and it looks great in game. At $512, the Bayonet Tiger Tooth is a good top tier skin to get for the knife and it looks very good in CS2 of course. At $553, we'll finally get our first good karambit in the Boreal Forest in minimal wear. Of course you can't go wrong with a good old karambit. At $588, we will actually have our first and only kukri knife, the Slaughter in minimal wear. Now, just note this is really expensive right now because the kilowatt case is still not cheap at all. So if you're watching this video in a few months, it's probably a lot cheaper. And the reason why I'm only mentioning one kukri knife. At $625, the Bayonet Marble Fade is one of the best skins you could get in the game. Everybody loves a good marble fade. At $647, we finally get our first butterfly knife, the Forest DD Pat in minimal wear. Best animation in the game hands down. It ain't $647 for no reason. And our second M9 bayonet is the $678 Ultraviolet in minimal wear. It's a pretty simple knife, one of my personal favorite animations as well. Over $700 at $719 to be exact, the field tested Karambit Damascus Steel is a nice shiny skin for the budget and definitely holds its value well. At $754, the Skeleton Slaughter in field tested looks great, and thankfully with this knife, you don't have to really worry about its condition because it's always pretty clean. At $830, we go back to the Talon knife with the Marble Fade. It's a very nice knife and completely speaks for itself. And our final knife under $1,000, of course, we got to go with the M9 Slaughter at $968 in minimal wear. Prices are now going to start being a lot more spread out as we get into our more expensive knives. So now on the knives between $1,000 to $2,000, just for crazy expensive budgets, but this is where you'll find some absolute dream knives for your inventory. For starters, the Karambit Tiger Tooth in minimal wear at $1,079. It's a dream knife, dream skin, and minimal wear doesn't really affect the look, and it's $80 cheaper than factory new, so you might as well. At $1,236, the Talon Knife Fade. There's absolutely nothing to complain about here. It is one of the sickest knives in the game that isn't a rare pattern. Looks incredible. At $1,311, the M9 Marble Fade. One of the best looking OG knives in the game that you could just flat out get. At $1,476, you'll finally get a sick butterfly knife in minimal wear, a Slaughter, one of the biggest flexes in the game, and at $1,579, the Skeleton Knife Fade is the sickest skeleton knife we'll cover so far, another absolutely endgame item. Jumping up again to $1,847, the M9 Gamma Doppler is a skin that everybody wants. Prices are starting to get a lot more expensive, so that's going to be our last skin under $2,000. So next up, if you've somehow inherited a large amount of money, we've got the $2,000 to $20,000 range. This will start to include gem knives like rubies, emeralds, and crazy stuff like that. But for starters, the Butterfly Knife Marble Fade at $2,038 is the final butterfly knife skin with one of the OG patterns that you're going to be able to get for a price that won't put you in generational debt. At $2,260, the Karambit Gamma Doppler will finally be available. Once again, Gamma Dopplers are completely unmatched in CS2. And one last Karambit for under $3,000 is of course the Fade at $2,650. The OG knives are not cheap like they used to be. And our final non-gem knife, the Butterfly Fade at $3,200. It's probably cheaper than trying to unbox it, to be honest, but it's still a lot of money. Now, for our first ruby, we have the Bayonet Ruby at $3,500. Rubies are completely unmatched and pretty unique in CS2. A bit higher in price, the Talon Ruby is $4,400 and another very clean knife. At $10,700, we have the M9 Sapphire. Now, me personally, along with most other people in CS2, don't like sapphires because they don't look good, so this is the only one I'll mention, but if this hasn't drained your bank account, the M9 Ruby is only $50 more expensive than it at $10,750. And for one final non-blue gem knife that we've got, it's the Butterfly Emerald, of course, at $15,000 on the dot. This thing was selling for over 20 grand during the initial CS2 hype. If you've got a spare $15,000 to spend on a single knife, you've kind of made it, so you don't really care about money at this point. But now we're on to the $20,000 plus range, exactly the $1.5 million for our final knife. So this is the final destination of CS2 skins, the blue gems, and we're only covering the absolute best of the best. For starters, the Talon Case Hardened pattern 923, the #1 blue gem for the knife in minimal wear, which sold for $96,670 just a month ago in April. Just the purest Talon knife you can get. Then, the Skeleton Case Hardened pattern 403, of course the #1 pattern as well. In 2023, one in field tested sold for $145,000. But these knives are almost always private sales, so it's super hard to find information on them. There could be one sold for more. And finally, the greatest CSGO knife to ever exist, the Karambit Blue Gem pattern 387 in factory new. This knife is at an offer of 1.5 million United States dollars on it, and the owner refused it. Once you have that much money, nothing matters anymore. You could claim the #1 skin in a video game and be completely fine declining a $1.5 million offer. But yeah, that wraps it up for this one. These are the best CS2 knives for every single budget. Of course, be sure to check out Skins Monkey for that free $5 bonus as well, and 35% deposit bonus when you deposit with cash or crypto. Link will be at the top of the description. But for now, be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.